This was a moment to remember from the last Indy Super Pull. A victory flip by Joe Roush, wife of the Professor Wayne Roush, celebrating her husband's first ever Indy Super Pull win. Today it's time once again to go head over heels for two wheels. We'll see who has the strength to carve their way into Indy lore. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the all-stars of the NTPA, the National Tractor Pullers Association. Today, from the Indiana State Fairgrounds Coliseum in Indianapolis, it's the Indy Super Pull, and we feature the two-wheel drive competition. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Lee, and welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power on the Nashville Network. The last time we saw this competition, it was a real shootout between LD Nation and Wayne Roush. Now, Roush, although underpowered in the engine department, won a four-truck pull-off to win his first ever Indy Super Pull. However, those two guys are absent. They're not here this weekend. So let's go to Armstrong and see who might be the guy to beat in the two-wheel class.
Gary, you're exactly right. The two names that you just mentioned, LD Nation and Wayne Roush, have literally dominated the two-wheel drive category in the past, but that's the past. You always race now and in the future. I want to give you an update. LD Nation, he's drag racing now on the NHRA circuit. Wayne Roush is kind of sporty car racing. So the big question at the Indy Super Pull is, who's going to step up and be the lead dog in this team of pullers? Well, it looks like a guy named Roger Simon has the confidence to do it. Name of the truck he's going to be driving, as Simon says. All weekend long, this Grand National Champion has been walking around saying, Simon says I can win the Indy Super Pull. It may be a trump card, however, as Greer Hamilton came all the way from California to prove that he's going to be the #1 man in the two-wheel drive category. Gary, back to you.
Army, to add to what you've just said, no one in today's two-wheel drive class has ever won here at Indy, so we'll have a first-time winner. And the first to pull will be Randy Petro and Kathy's Complaint. Now, these NTPA pullers compete outdoors all year to qualify for this event. And prior to the event, Army asked the '93 two-wheel drive champion, we talked about him earlier, Roger Simon, what he has to do differently when he pulls indoors.
What we do, we fatten the motor up a little bit. We run a higher gear, so the motor will be a little lazier than outdoors, because outdoors you can use all the power. Indoors you can't use it all, and I feel we got the motor ready, we got the vehicle ready, and we're ready to win the Indy Super Pull.
And speaking of being ready, let's take a ride now with our sled cam. As our first puller will be Randy Petro. The sled is now official. Randy out of Camden, Ohio, in a 23 Ford Bucket T. Good pull.
The NTPA official cut him down. He won a 2:22.10. So on a 2:30 track, not a bad run at all to be early in the field. The vehicle comes out. The weight's a little bit light on the nose, Gary. As you can see, it'll start to drift a little bit to the left to him. He's turning to the right, but that does not work with the front end up in the air.
So once again, let's go back trackside and visit with Randy. Army?
Okay, the number comes up at 2:22.10. Do you think that's going to hold up for you? You're the first guy in this field.
I think it'll hold up pretty good. I think it'll put me up there and pretty well at the top, I hope. I think it was a pretty good run.
And back at the starting line at the sled, the Pack Rat 5 is hooked up, Chad Christensen.
Chad comes out with a 572 cubic inch mountain motor. He's out of Minnesota. Like the name of the vehicle, Gary. Kind of reminds you of Big Daddy Ed Roth in the 60s. Did you go back that far with all
one of my favorite models was produced by Ed Roth.
I spent half my senior year in high school drawing those
bucket tees.
That's right. Speaking of bucket tees, this guy's laying down a shot, drifting a little bit to the left. Whoa, had the back pedal on it.
Yeah, he had to get on the throttle right there, and that cost him big time. Only 207 feet the distance for Chad Christensen. So that will put him second on the leaderboard, but I'm sure as the competition continues, he will simply drop down.
Hey, speaking of rats,
there's a big one. The Fairgrounds Coliseum, we're coming back. Welcome back to the Indy Super Pull at the Indiana State Fairgrounds Coliseum, a part of the Copenhagen Skull Pulling Series. Gary Lee alongside Army Armstrong, and the competition now resumes with another Christensen and another Pack Rat. This is brother Doug in Pack Rat 3. Now it's a Corvette body draping a 572 cubic inch Rodeck.
You know, I'm trying to figure out what the common denominator is. Why the infatuation with the Christensen family and the rat? rat is the terminology used in racing for Chevrolet horsepower. And this truck does not rely, or this Corvette does not rely on this Chevrolet. He hooks it real hard to the right. Everybody else is going to the left. He went to the right, Gary.
Well, he outdoes his brother. His brother was at 2:07, and he's at 2:18. So that will put him second right now on the leaderboard. Now let's go down trackside and get a comment from Doug Christensen.
218 feet, an awfully good run, but more important than that, it was a straight run. Why did you go straight?
This vehicle had real good luck in the past. It goes real straight down the track. But the only problem I had, a little bit too big a gear, but could have done a little better.
Well, others, of course, Army, are watching to see what those ahead of them have done to make the necessary changes. Next up is Tim Deffy in a good-looking 1957 Chevy pickup truck powered by an Arius engine.
Deffy draws into the field. He's had an opportunity to look at the guys in front of him, like you say. Fast Freight's the name of this vehicle. He could be a player before the day's over. He definitely has the horsepower. Supercharged engine sits right on the nose of the vehicle. Interesting point here. If you'll notice, the NTPA officials are right on the spot. On the starting line, they're the closest person to the vehicle. On the finish line, they're the closest person, and I like that. They have a very good safety record, and that's to say a lot for the sanctioning body for the safety of the pullers.
Well, this is one good-looking vehicle here.
Man, 57 Chevy, what do you expect?
57 became a classic for the car and for the pickup truck. Pulls off to his left. Let's check it now. Top so far is a 222.1, 211.1.
What they're doing, they're catching a rut at about half track, and it's hooking them to the left. If you have to touch the brake in a pulling sport, they say it'll easily cost you 10 to 12 feet. That would have put him in the lead, Gary.